Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle book review of Lookin' Television Annual. Love Lookin' magazine. Used to get all the comics all the time. Just great. Mainly for Space 1999, and there's various other ones as well. Logan's Run as well. But this was from 1976. Weirdly, it doesn't seem to say it's from 1976. Bit of an oversight. Normally these annuals normally put the year. Why did I get this? Well, one, I love Lookin'. But also I got this as well. Look back on the 70s telly, and I'm just going to refer to that later, but it's a sort of very sort of connected. You can see the style, of course, Lookin', look back. So let's go through this first. 1976, of course, the good old, for England anyway, the summer, obviously the hot summer of 76. And you got Flintlock. Now, I've just been watching Flintlock on... I quite enjoyed these ones, actually. They're really weird. You Must Be Joking, as well as Pauline Quirks. And I had never seen anything of Pauline Quirks other than, obviously, Birds of a Feather. So when seeing this, I thought, wow, it was just fascinating. And you can see, obviously, Flintlock, and they're the band that was playing on there. And there's all the various articles. You've got features, pin-ups, stories. And unfortunately, it doesn't actually say page 80 for the end, but I'm assuming it goes up to 80. It's got Space 1999, Man About the House, Benny Hill. Now, quite a lot of these often had pin-ups. This is obviously Slick, Queen, Michael Holloway. Some of them, I must admit, Michael Holloway, not particularly familiar with. If I see obviously a picture, I'll probably remember him. Lee Majors, obviously, and many others. And of course, it also had jokes, etc., as well as features. And there's quite a few good features in this. You've got obviously Slick there. Not a band that I'm particularly familiar with, but it's also got a lot of information about all the various artists at the time. Not all of the artists, of course. There were hundreds and hundreds of other artists that are not mentioned here, but it's a reasonably one, obviously, of the chart ones. Shawaddy Waddy, Elton John, Linda Lewis, Mud, etc., etc. Unfortunately, someone decided to chop a bit out. Don't know what that was. And you can see that. And the G Band, as well as Queen, of course, at the time. And weirdly, the Beatles still get a mention, which is really good. Obviously, after all, it was the Beatles, 1962, etc., etc., has turned full circles, and the Beatles' music was back with us again. Yeah, they must have released something back in that time. Can't remember what it was. But anyway, Man About the House. Always enjoyed that. It was a great little show. Flair and Imagination. You've got a little article about Jerry Anderson, of course, and various shows. Space 1999, Centre of Conflict. Obviously, I was never a fan of these. I don't know why they put them in, actually. I don't think I ever read any of them. I always wondered, did people read them? They must have done. I assume they did. Or was there some other reason to put them in? But still, Rift Valley, and also these sort of things. I mean, quite fascinating, I guess. But if you're just an odd thing to put in an annual. But you had these sort of joke ones, Smile, Stew Pot. And also, again, Flintlock, good old obviously Tomorrow People as well. Obviously, Flintlock was obviously very big. What happened to Flintlock? I have no idea what happened to him. Benny Hill Page, obviously. I wonder why they called it Benny Hill Page. Why not just put Benny Hill? Now, of course, Benny Hill, all these old stars were quite often had these sort of things. You had the TV comic, you also had film fun and all those things. So obviously you've got Benny Hill as well. Comedians had their section in here as well. Athlete, superstar, Lee Majors. Someone's obviously decided to take a bit of a drawing there. Obviously, he didn't need glasses. He had his bionic eye. And you got there. I always love the artwork for these ones. They're great. Tomorrow People. Just brilliant bit of artwork there. The story, it's fine. Nothing wrong with it. Also, I love this one with the sounds. You've got all the various, very dramatic, the sounds, artists. So that's one of the things that's really good. And there's another great little article a bit later. And you've also got history of TV as well as, weirdly, about the Great British Breakfast. Sorry, is that the Great British Breakfast? Bean breakfast, country ham, crusty kipper bake. Maybe it was, I don't know. Orange special. Can't say I ever had that at all, but still, maybe that was a stew-potted history of television. So you've got a bit about television there. Gordon Hill. Now, I must admit, I love football, but I can't really put my... Says there, Man United. Now, I never supported Man United. That's probably why I'm not familiar with him. On the ball quiz and colour a kit. Have fun colouring this thing. Luckily, the person didn't do that. Quite often you get annuals when, of course, people would. I mean, that's the sort of thing I did. I know with my annuals. But it's also got another Smile with Stew Pot. And then good old Doctor on the House. Doctor on the Go, as it says there. And also, now the artwork's a bit odd for this one. Doctor, you can see the artwork, bit of a strange one. Also, you've got stamps. Of course, stamps were immensely popular. They may be immensely popular now. I'm quite certain now. I haven't collected stamps for ages. But still, of course, I collected a few stamps. My dad was really into stamps, loved stamps. And on to the next one. Spot the difference. I think you can spot the difference very quickly, but it's still, actually, I'm surprised no one marked them off there. It does handily put the answers below. Stu Potts crossword. I wonder if he did it. What's his name? But still, someone actually did the crossword. I don't know what that. I'm certain that's 19 Hill. Jimmy of soccer fame. Jimmy Hill. Yeah, work that one out. Also, you've got obviously movie ones. But also, I love this. Design your own record label. They didn't do it, which is very odd considering they'd done some of the other sections. So you got here, I love that one, Brunswick. Obviously the Apple logo there. You've also got Relayer, Rolling Stones one. I love the Queen one, that was great. Decca, the Supreme record. I mean, just great. Actually, I'm almost surprised no one's ever brought out a book of all these sort of labels. Must be, I mean, obviously there's millions of variations. Parlophone, all of them have got probably many variations of, but there must be millions and millions of labels. It'd be fascinating to see a sort of massive collection of all labels. Maybe it exists. I don't know. Never seen one. But it would be obviously just UK ones, but you could do it for US ones, obviously Motown, Stax, all the millions of variations. And there were lots of different labels associated even with them. And also you got here, let's go to the next section. Oh, I missed the section that I was going to mention that was really good. Where did it go? Comic capers. This was one of the things that to read. Comic cuts. Absolutely really lovely. I think and it mentions a few people. I thought, oh, wow, I didn't know about that. This or that artist. And I love the thing, £100 for 500 copies of The Eagle, £450 for 597 copies of Film Fun. And also you've got £400 for 519 copies of the classic comic cuts. Now, of course, this was back then. I imagine that probably even more now. But some of the early ones, it says if you obviously don't throw out all your comics. I wish I had taken that advice. I did throw out way too many comics, and even now I still throw out comics, so I don't think I've ever taken that advice. And also you've got Chips there, Film Fun, and of course many, many others. And of course, as it says, look after them. Put them in Mylar bags. Doesn't actually say that one, but it could have done. Put them in Mylar bags. Of course, Second World War destroyed so many treasured traditions, etc. And also, of course, many comics must have gone. UK as well, obviously, as the US. And that is the Look In television annual. I say, worth checking out this as well. I did look, there's about 3 or 4 other ones of these. There's a bit of a series of them. I wish I had got the other ones when I got this one, because I picked this one up in foils. It was about like £5 or something. I thought, yes, I'll buy that, because it does have a really decent, got a little booklet as well, a little comic, which is really nice. And it sort of makes it look like the Look In, sort of. Look back, as it says there, and you've got the Bay City Rollers. You've also got Time Slip, which is really nice. And look out for last week's, and you've got sort of Pippins, Rainbow, See What You Missed on TV. And it's all even got a lovely Your ITV programmes. Look at that, just lovely little list in there. But it's also got, and I'm just going to move these out so you can see the different ones it's got. There you've got the list in there. So you've got Ace of Wands. The annoying thing about this, though, was the fact that it's got Peacock Pie, episode 1. That's it. Just finishes. I would have preferred them to put episode 3. At least I could have seen the end of it instead of just get the one episode. I know it's obviously makes you go off and buy it. But Ace of Wands, of course, is now tricky to get. Time Slip. Also, you got there Jamie. That was quite good, actually. I did enjoy where he goes back in time. Oh, sorry, that was a spoiler. Well, I think it does actually say that anyway. But still, Follyfoot Shadow. I should cut that bit out, shouldn't I? That's just terrible. You must be... I was really amazed with that one. You must be joking. I was really quite surprised by some of the humour in that. It just really struck me as thinking, wow. And likewise in the one later, the Pauling's Quirks, was... now I don't think that they would... A lot of the things would not be put in there. Some maybe, but it just was so odd. but Nobody's House, that was quite good as well. Raven was quite nice. They got this one, Raven. Started, interestingly, again, episode 1, which was really annoying because it didn't actually get to as far as actually working anything out about the story. Paper Lads was great, mainly because it showed a lovely comic shop / newsagents back in the 70s. And they had like Look-In, of course. Had also lots of other magazines, Commando magazines, as well as obviously lots and lots of the sweets and things of the time, the papers. It was okay. Also, there was Magpie. Wasn't really enamoured by that. I was looking forward to Magpie, but I Get It Together football special, that was interesting. Robert's Robots, bit odd, but still. Tightrope, very good as well. Actually, I love this. So, really worth checking out. This one is actually still reasonably easy to pick up, I think. So, there's the full list on the back of all the episodes. Thoroughly enjoyable. Certainly, if you can get it for a reasonable price, it's worth checking out. And that is going through obviously the annual, 1976. But get the book, and then you can obviously sort of back to the 70s, if that's what you want to do. Anyway, hope you found this of interest, and please put in the comments below, did you ever buy the Look-In annual? Did you ever get Look-In magazine, obviously the comic or magazine? Was it a comic magazine? It was that sort of thing. And also, of course, anything equivalent, those sort of television magazines. There were obviously TV comic. There was loads of other ones that were TV associated as well. Anyway,